What's up, man? How we doing, everybody? How we doing, everybody? It is little Steel City Sports Talk. Adam's over on the other side. What
What's
do you
up,
think of
guys?
the? What do you think? We're throwing a name out there. What do you guys think of that? Uh, just to kind of be a little consistent since we're doing all kind of different Pittsburgh stuff.
Uh,
Eventually, the Maulers will come back, and you'll get to talk to them in the UFL show and all that kind of good stuff. So,
yeah, they gave me the showboats, which I'm okay with that. Okay with that.
showboats are cool. Yeah,
Got
that's
Matt Mangle
UFL
on.
show.
Got Matt Mangle, who was a mauler. Got Boogie Roberts, who was a mauler. Both were on my show. Got Troy Williams. He was on me and Evan's show. Um, so yeah, I'm not worried about it. Now I am worried
Cool.
that Ken Wisenhunt stepped down and with only 6 days before opening day, and that kind of concerned me a little bit. The UFL is still looking to possibly still go on strike with the labor union. I'm not sure. I didn't read anything or see anything today, but um, that's just stuff I heard going around the grapevine. I
They
guess
go on strike, they're done.
Nakua's older brother, I guess, was the one ranting on Twitter yesterday about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they go on strike, they may as well just call it quits.
Right, they only play 8 games plus playoffs.
And there's not that much money there to start with. So, but hey,
No, I
man,
don't
did you
know
see
what
the tweet from Skeens?
I did not.
Shifting gears completely. What
Can you
he
share it?
said, I'm
Can you share it on
huh?
the computer? Can you share it so we can all look at it?
I've got it on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was just
It says
curious.
it says I'm proud to announce my support of the Gary Sinise Foundation and its mission to honor and serve our nation's defenders, veterans, first responders, and their families. I will again donate $100 for every strikeout I record during the 2025 season and invite you to join me on my mission to raise $100,000 for this amazing cause. So how's that? $100 a strikeout, strikes out 200, 20K. There you go.
Easy. Easy, Rich. Easy. Easy. I forgot. I forgot the
You don't
Marlins do.
get
I forgot the Marlins do have a pretty good pitcher tomorrow, and I'm not
it's
going to
City
roll him out.
Alcantara.
I'm not going to
I
roll
think
him
it's
out. I totally forgot. I totally forgot. You forget about these Marlins, and you think they're all full of prospects, um, and then all of a sudden you see this name come up, and you're like, oh shit.
well, no, I mean, you got to remember he's coming off of an injury though. He's coming off of surgery. Um, he is. I mean, when he's healthy, he's one of the better pitchers in baseball. Period. The end.
I doubt.
And he will be on a contender by the time if the Marlins, and they probably won't be, are not contending by the trade deadline. Don't be surprised if one of these teams like Texas, maybe a Houston,
All right.
maybe
So
Kansas City,
so you think he's licking his lips? Six appearances,
Alcantara.
six
Mm-hmm.
appearances, 33 strikeouts, but he is only 1-0.
Spring training.
No, versus the Pirates.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think he wants to go out there and pitch well and pitch healthy. It's a whole different deal when you go out there coming off of an injury. Jacob DeGrom's going to be the same way tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but when he pitches on Sunday. Um, Coming off of an injury, you just want to get out there and pitch well. From Max Fried is going to, or not Max Fried, but yeah, Braves pitcher that missed last year. God dang it.
Strider. Strider.
Strider, thank you. He's going to be doing the exact same thing, I'm sure. That he wants to make sure that he's healthy. Does that mean that he may only go 4 innings or something like that? Quite possible. And then, the Marlins bullpen is as much of a crapshoot really as the Pirates is. Um,
I think if he's hot, I think they leave him in. I don't think he's on a pitch count. It doesn't say anything.
It doesn't, but
We know this game too well now to think he's on what are you saying, 75, 80 max?
that's what I'm probably thinking.
What if we get this great opening day matchup? What if we get it? Are they going to let these pitchers dole?
To a degree, I think they will. I think that those guys could both make it into the sixth inning at 80, 85 pitches. Um, Skeens got up to 80 in spring training. Could he go 90 tomorrow? Maybe 100? I think it depends on where he's at. Like if he ends an inning at 92, I think he's done.
Really?
If he's in an inning and he starts an inning at like 85 and he ends up at 100, okay, fine. I think it's just going to depend on how the numbers play out. So,
I don't know if Jay's working tonight or not, but he is watching.
well, I appreciate it, Jay. That's a very distinct possibility. And DeGrom, if I could get 120, 130 innings out of DeGrom, I'm happy, as a Rangers fan. The Pirates are my team. Rangers, I live in Texas. Rangers are my number 2 team. I grew up with that team. And I'm a DeGrom guy. I have always been a DeGrom guy. And when they signed him, I was like, okay, great. But they're not going to get anything out of him until 2025. This is the year they're getting something out of it. If he goes 125, 130 innings, and I think the Strider would be, the Braves would be very happy to get 120 innings, 130 innings out of Strider. I would not be surprised if at some point during the season they even have him miss a turn or two every now and then, just to get some extra rest. Would not be surprised at that at all. Flip side, the Pirates have a guy right now that's been shut down that may be going through a similar situation this year that those guys went through last year, with Jared Jones and his elbow issue. They haven't confirmed anything about Tommy John. They haven't confirmed anything about surgery or anything, but they do have him shut down at the moment. And, I'm not overly disappointed with
I
them
called it.
putting
I called it
Ladzinski.
though. I called it. Carmen, baby. Carmen.
I'm not disappointed in that. I mean, he's a good long relief guy. He can start.
No, but that was
I
my guy. That was my fifth guy. That was my guy. Now, I was basing it off of Jared Jones was not going to be here.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I like
And do you have any clue what Josh is talking about? Because I do not.
what Josh is talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke on Monday's show that Kyle Busch was racing his son Brexton tonight, at a dirt track, that they run at.
Oh, okay. So this
I
is all you
do.
two.
Yeah, it kind of ties into two tire change. Let's see. I don't think they've raced yet.
It's 9
The
o'clock. You figure they
races
will.
the race the card at the track started at 8, so I doubt they've even run yet. So yeah, they'll probably be like somewhere in the middle of the
Or who knows? They
the
might
card
save
of
it for the end to
races,
keep all. They might save it for the end to keep all the people there.
possibly.
You know what? That
But
was the one thing that was Rich Rod way off topic, but that was the one thing
hey,
I
I was
thought.
trying to scare it back. So, huh?
That was the one thing I wish Canton, would have done was let Palomalu go last. And that way more
Yeah.
people would have been able to hear Cower's speech and everything else. But there weren't a lot of people there when Cower did his speech because everyone just got it bugged out, which was a shame. It was shameful.
Well, and it's kind of surprising too, because everybody knew that day. Cower is a good speaker. He's a really good speaker, better than Palomalu, to be honest. And I was more interested in hearing what Cower had to say and the way he was going to say it. I was really surprised though that so many people fled.
It was
Yeah,
weird. It was
run
weird.
for
Like
cover.
it was weird. Like we were sitting up top, and we're like, "Do you think we could go sneak and get on the floor?" Like there was no one there.
Could have took a shot at it. What's the worst they could have told you? No.
Yeah, but then we would have had to walk all the way back up, and we're like, let's just stay up here. Like we were like in the almost last row to the top, but we were
Oh
there.
wow. Yeah.
But we were there anyway. That was way off topic, but that's just my own thoughts on what Canton did.
Yeah. Well, the 2025 starting rotation is going to be Skeens, Keller, Haney, Falter, and Wodzinski. Um, I'm not against that at all.
Let me look at my
I
list.
don't.
That is the way
I
I
don't.
had it.
I don't have a major problem with that. I would probably flip Falter and Haney, simply because, well,
You need a left-hander in there.
you do to break it up, and that's probably the logic behind it. But Haney is going to burn bullpen, and that might be the other piece of logic behind it because Ladzinski's going to do the same thing. They're both going to burn a lot of bullpen, and I mean Falter can go 6 or 7. Keller and Skeens can go 6, 7, 8.
We're not signing Rogers. We're running Mason Rudolph all year, Jason.
No, 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 Jason, come on, man.
I just saw that.
Jason,
I just saw that.
Jason, if there's a guy wearing number 8 for the Steelers, it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
Jesus Christ, worse to worse.
No, 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 no. If nothing else, mentally,
No,
it's a
Mason Rudolph,
completely
baby.
different.
Mason
Get the
Rudolph.
hell out of here with this Mason Rudolph bullshit.
He can fling that ball up there.
Mason Rudolph is garbage. You may as well go get Tommy Maddox.
Listen, I got Mason Rudolph on my damn dynasty team as my only quarterback, so I need him. Okay, Rich, there's a difference.
You better find yourself another quarterback.
Look, this
He's
fucking
worthless.
asshole before I took over this team traded Bryce Young or traded CJ Stroud for Bryce Young.
Why don't you still have Bryce Young?
Because I traded him.
Home Slice started coming into his own last year.
Yeah, towards the end of the season after he was long gone. Anyway, Rich, we need to get back on topic. We only got about 40 minutes left, right?
Somewhere in that
Anyway.
ballpark. But yeah,
anyway, remember, don't set your
tomorrow.
lineup tomorrow for fantasy baseball, all right?
Why?
So you lose.
I'm not playing you.
Doesn't matter.
It's okay. I'm just ready for the IL to get up on there because I got a guy that I got to put on the IL.
Isn't it up yet? I thought it was today. I thought it was up today.
Wasn't up when I looked at it. Because I tried to move Geloff to the IL, but the Pirates have a couple of guys, of course, that are on the injured list. Probably Oviedo's done for the season.
Are you ready for this?
He's on the 60-day.
Look what I didn't draft.
Dude, I can't see that. I still can't see it.
I didn't draft a catcher, Rich. I didn't draft a catcher.
I saw that. There's 800 of them on the free agent market. Come on.
I don't even know. I didn't even realize it till I was looking today. I'm
going to be nice. I'm going to tell you who to take.
Who?
Jonah Heim.
She's still out there.
Huh?
She's still out there.
Jonah Heim is the catcher for the Texas Rangers.
Anyway, Rich, get back to your Pirates talk.
Anyways, the projected lineup for tomorrow is Tommy Pham in left field, which is kind of weird. Brian Reynolds in right, O'Neal Cruz in center. Hutch hitting cleanup.
Could that be because of the dimensions of the park? It's shorter and left.
Possibly, but why would you move Reynolds from left?
Because that old man can't run out there, Rich. He is 38 years old.
O'Neal Cruz can make up the difference. It's not like O'Neal Cruz isn't one of the fastest men in baseball. But, you got Kutch hitting cleanup. Not sure I like that. He's the DH. Joey Bart behind the plate. Andy Rodriguez at first. Hadn't really thought about that previously, but okay, I'll give the kid a shot.
He is our
The
backup
only
catcher as
problem,
well.
I was going to say, the only problem with that is that now you have both of your catchers out there, and you only have 2 catchers on the roster. So you do have that situation. Nick Gonzalez at second, the walking back injury to Brian Hayes at third, and Izzy at short, hitting ninth. I don't have a problem with Izzy hitting ninth. Get on, roll it up to the top. He's going to hit you 260, 270. I don't have a problem with that. I don't like Hutch in the 4-hole. If I would probably have flipped Bart and McCutchen, or had McCutchen lead off and have Pham hit cleanup. Just because at this point in his career, I think Pham has a lot more power than McCutchen does. I like Reynolds in the 2. That's not a problem. Cruz as the 3 is fine. I really want to see how a couple of guys do this year, though, in breaking out. And that's Barton Rodriguez. I'm sorry, Barton Gonzalez. I was talking to a guy yesterday, day before yesterday, and I went out on a limb and I said that I think Nick Gonzalez is going to be very possibly considered for an all-star spot this year.
Well, he's got to play first, Rich. He's got to play first.
I'm amazed Sawinski made the roster, but he hit over 300 in the spring. We talked about this last week. Let him hit till he stops.
No, I'm just saying, like, Gonzalez got to play first.
Well, he's starting. I mean, he's been put in that second base spot. It's his spot to lose. The only position, Triolo, I hate to wish bad things on anybody, but I need Brian Hayes to like stub his toe in the dugout or something. And get his butt out of there and get Triolo at third. I'm kind of surprised Triolo's not playing first.
I read something today, Rich. If Hayes gets hurt, they were talking about putting Gonzalez back at third and putting Triola at second. Just what I read.
Okay. I wouldn't be upset with that. That's one luxury the Pirates have in their infield. All 4 of the guys
they got some rovers.
They've got utility guys there that can play multiple positions, which is a good thing. Rovers. Izzy can play any of the infield positions. Gonzalez can play any of the infield positions, and Triolo can play any of the infield. In fact, Izzy could catch. Izzy is going to be the third catcher. You watch, because he came up as a catcher in the Texas organization. So he can get behind the plate if he needs to.
Right. Then what do you do? Put Sawinski in center?
Probably.
Or do you go? Or would you go? Or would you go Gonzalez? Would you go Gonzalez? Put Frazier at second. Keep Trilla move Trilla over to short, and then put Rodriguez at first.
Maybe. Probably, I would do something with the infield. It's going to make a difference when Horwitz comes back. Because then if you did have to do something like that, you're going to have Horwitz at first.
Horwitz also can play second. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah. But his main gig is going to be first.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're looking at Horwitz at first, and then however you want to work Gonzalez and Triolo and Hayes and Frazier, second, short, and third, that's fine. I mean, the only way Izzy is going behind the plate is if, it's like the 15th inning and we've had to drop one of the two guys or something. Because the nice part is you realistically say it is, the 14th inning, and you can switch, put Andy behind the plate and bring Bart out to first. I mean, there's
So,
not.
barring no injuries, when Horwitz comes back, right?
Yep.
Is Bay going to be the odd man out?
Yep. It's exactly who's the odd man out. Him or
What if he's
Frazier.
hitting?
Him or Frazier.
I don't know why they love this guy, but they do.
Frazier won a batting title.
Yeah, but how long ago?
No, but I mean, Frazier can hit. He just doesn't hit with a lot of power. That's the one big thing that
this
this
team lacks.
doesn't have.
Doesn't have any power. I would have rather spent the $1.5 million on Verdugo and put him in the outfield somewhere than bringing in Tommy Pham.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, your power is Cruz and Reynolds, and then Bart.
Possibly Bart.
Well, I think Bart's a 15 to 20 home run guy.
That's not a four-hitter. On this team, it is. On any other team, he's probably batting eighth or ninth.
Well, but you got to remember one thing, man.
I know he missed half the season. I know.
No.
The injuries.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. The structure of the lineup has changed. Your best power hitter is not your four hitter. Yankees use their best power hitter in the four hole. That would be a no.
But the Yankees also have a powerful lineup enough to do it where they can bat them in the second and third hole.
Who do the Yankees have with power besides Judge right now? You got no Stanton. Soto's gone. Who's your power? Goldschmidt?
I mean, if he can enjoy that short porch and right, yeah.
I mean, granted, Judge is nothing like what the Pirates have, but the Pirates lineup is not that much different power-wise than the Yankees. You got one guy, and then everybody else is down here. Because Wells isn't going to hit a bunch of homers. Volpe's not going to hit a bunch of homers. All the Dominguez isn't going to hit a bunch of home runs. They don't have power outside of Aaron Judge, unless you count Goldschmidt. And I mean, he's rounding third, headed toward home on the end of his career.
I'm just saying, Rich. Are you really going to be scared if you get the 3-0 count on Cruz to not put him on?
Yeah.
I'm walking him all day to get the part.
Then you're going to give up a lot of runs.
Not really. He batted 166 last year.
Who did?
Bart.
Dude, what? He had 265 last year.
I don't know where I saw that 166. I don't care.
I don't know where you did either. The man hit 265 last year.
I'm way less scared of Bart than I am of Cruz.
Okay. And I told you, Cruz is the power. But in the way that lineups are structured now, and you can pick whatever team you want. Houston, Yordan Alvarez is not their cleanup hitter. The Rangers, Corey Seager is not their cleanup hitter. Go to Boston. Rafael Devers is not their cleanup hitter. Cleveland, Ramirez is not their cleanup hitter. The power hitters right now are going in. Yeah, they were. Your power guy was
Ramirez has
always
always
your
hit.
four hitter.
He's always hit third. Ramirez has always hit third.
I understand that, but I'm using him as the example because he's the power hitter on that team.
Right
That's
now they got
elite
Carlos
with
Now they got Santana behind him, baby.
okay. Are you seriously bringing this up?
Oh,
You're not afraid of Bart, but you're going to be afraid of Santana? Come on.
I'm sorry, Bart just doesn't scare me.
All I can tell you is
Yeah,
it's a heck of a lot better.
now he scares me if I'm pitching. I mean, but anyone
Okay,
can get it off me.
but think about what the opening day lineup was last year. Are you more scared of Bart or Hayes? Because Hayes was your cleanup hitter last year on opening day.
Do I have to pick one?
Bart is a dramatic improvement over Hayes in the cleanup spot. Come on.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It just don't. Rich's lineup does not. This lineup does not scare me. Without Jared Jones, now like, I know you're gonna still stick to your 75 to 80, but right now I think 60 to 65 is negotiable.
No, man. No. I can
They have
just
not done
okay.
They have not done anything to improve this team. We have two outfielders that are over 35.
Okay.
They're
We
going to
also
get
have
tired
three. We
out.
also have three outfielders that are in their 20s.
Reynolds is 30.
Okay.
What? Cruz is
So 220.
26.
So 220s and a 30.
Bay
Because
is what?
Sawinski's what,
31.
25?
I think
No,
Zawinski is 20.
Bay
I
is
think Zawinski was 28.
Bay is 25.
I think
Reynolds will not
Zawinski was.
turn. Reynolds just turned 30 in January. Sawinski is 26.
I'm just saying, Rich. I'm just saying, like, wherever Fam is, I think he's going to be our dead spot. I think that's going to be like that. Hey, let's hit it there and make him run. Hit it in the gap. Make him run. Rich is these signings have done nothing to me.
See, to me, the ideal scenario is Pham as your DH.
And
Pham and
McCutcheon's.
McCutchen are your DH. That's my
I wouldn't even
ideal
brought Pham in. I've
I
never
really
been a
wouldn't
fan.
have either.
I've never been a
But
fan
I
of this guy in
mean,
my life.
if he's going to hit 250, okay. If he's going to hit 250 and hit you 15 bombs, okay. And you're paying what, $4 million for the guy?
Right, we could have got Verdugo for 1.5.
Is he going to hit more than 15 homers?
I don't care. He's a better player. And he might. I'm not saying he won't, but he might.
All I'm looking at is
I know
this
this is the team
team.
we have, and this is the team we got to be excited about. But man, the more I look at it, I'm just like, I'm not excited. Like the energy is gone, and that's horrible.
But you got to look at the fact you got another year on Gonzalez. You've got another year on Triolo. You've got another year on O'Neill Cruz. You know, and you've got him in a position where he can literally roam free. You've got another year of Joey Bart. You got another year of guys out in that pitching staff like Keller and Skeens.
See,
That
I think once
another
Horowitz
year
comes
on
back,
those
I
guys.
think Rodriguez takes over the catching position.
He might. I think that one. See, the Pirates have a luxury with that because they've got two really good catchers. Now,
Right, but
here's
I think
one.
it's going to be who's ever swinging the hot bat at that time is who's going to play, and I think that's the
And
way
that's fine.
Chelsea is going to look at it.
And that's fine. But you know what that also means? That if this team at the trade deadline is contending for a wild card spot, which I firmly believe they will, you could unload one of those guys and bring in a pitcher or another bat.
I'm not I'm not feeling this at all. I'm just not. I'm thinking 60, 65 wins. I mean, I looked at you and Jamie last night on open mic and went,
This is not a 100-loss team, man. There is no. How can you conceivably think this is a 100-loss team?
they didn't do anything to improve. They brought in a pitcher that's not very good. They lost a setup man that could throw
No.
104. And where did he go? Oh, Texas.
Who?
It's like we're just trading. It's like we're just trading guys for lower class guys, over the
No.
hill guys,
No, no,
Rich.
no, no.
It's a horrible feeling. And this just
I,
goes to
I,
my point of Bob Nutting has no clue what he's doing except for bringing in money to this team from the fans. And baseball really, really messed up his way of thinking I'm going to hit a big payday in July when the Yankees show up, because now they're here opening weekend that's supposed to sell out, and tickets on Sunday right now are at $15 to $18, and there's still a lot available. So the Yankees are
well,
not even, and I guarantee we're going to see a lot of pinstripes, and it ain't going to be black and gold pinstripes on Sunday. Now,
okay.
Monday's game probably will be close to packed. It is a 6:40 start against the Cardinals, but that is someone's opening home debut.
Okay, but you're also missing something. And we'll go back to the lineup. Who on the Yankees would you pay big bucks to see besides Aaron Judge? I'll
Aaron
wait.
Judge is enough to draw names.
It's not going to pack the house.
I guarantee the Yankees fans show up.
Yankees fans will show
Because
up, yes.
and
But
I can
Aaron
tell you
Judge by
why.
himself is.
I can tell you why, because tickets are way cheaper in Pennsylvania.
But Aaron Judge also is not going to pack the house for 3 nights. What's Friday and Saturday tickets looking like? They're probably through the roof, especially
Let me check.
Friday.
Opening day was the most expensive, I think, at 110.
Okay.
But hold on, we'll get a full.
The whole thing I'm looking at is everybody's screaming and hollering about the Yankees this, the Yankees that. The Yankees have one guy that's going to take the field this year. And I got news for you. Even when he was healthy, Garrett Cole, the only reason why Garrett Cole would have drawn is because he's a former Pirate.
Okay. So section 305, which is first base side upper deck,
Right.
66 apiece.
For when?
Opening day.
Okay.
And the highest seat for opening day, which for $40 more, you could sit in 108 at $100 a piece.
Okay.
Which is first base side, right above the dugout, almost.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if you want to sit, there is section 21, which is right above third base, the third base dugout, which is right behind it on the left hand side. Those seem to be the most expensive, $551.
Okay.
So if you wanted this is all on StubHub, by the way. This is all I'm reading it off of. Now, if you wanted to try and catch a home run ball out in right center, looks like there's a whole row open at 132 apiece.
Okay. So what are you upset at for opening day?
I'm just saying this is opening day, okay?
Right. I can remember when opening day tickets to this team were $30 for the best seats in the house.
So then you look at Saturday night, right? Not even close. Yeah. 308, 23 apiece. Okay. So there is that much of a drop off between opening day and the next day.
It does that for everybody.
I'm just saying, Rich, that not
to mention the fact you also have to take one other thing into consideration.
MLB dropped the ball for the Pirates.
It's going to be the first weekend or the first weekend in April, correct? First weekend in April in Pittsburgh, it could be snowing.
It's 80. It's 36 when I got out of the car today.
Okay, it could be snowing. So people aren't going to want to pay a bunch for tickets if it's going to be bad, cold weather. They'd rather watch the game on the television instead of going to the ballpark. Why? Because once you get past the panache of opening day and Skeens is not pitching, okay, you're going to have your regular diehard Pittsburgh crowd. The Yankees are not, they don't have those guys. They have Judge. That's it. When you had Judge and Soto and Rizzo and Stanton, that makes a difference. No Stanton, no Soto, no Rizzo, no Cole. You know, your big names are not playing for the New York Yankees. I would be curious to see, and I would have to look it up, Pirates, Dodgers, what those are looking like. Because I would be willing to bet you those are pretty high.
I was just looking at their lineup. I got off stuff up for a minute. So they have
I can go on.
Austin Wells, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, Dominguez, Ben Rice, and Oswaldo Cabrera.
Okay, who in that lineup would you pay to specifically see besides Aaron Judge? None of them. The same number of guys that you would pay for on the Pirates outside of O'Neill Cruz. The same number of guys you would pay to see for Cincinnati besides Ellie De La Cruz. There's not that many.
When
It
are
just
the
so happens. It just so happens that the Yankees are the legacy franchise in Major League Baseball.
We're talking about this great matchup tomorrow, right, Rich? We're talking about Sandy Alcantara against Paul Skeens tomorrow, right? So while I was checking tickets, how much would you guess they're going for at Albion Park tomorrow?
Well, I know on TickPick you can get them for $16 tomorrow.
StubHub has section 311, $7 a piece.
Section 312 you can get them for 16 on TickPick.
311 right next to it, right?
Yeah.
But why would I want to sit there when I could sit right behind the dugout for $51? Section 219, row seats 3 and 4. I don't know if that's a club or just the upper deck, but there's glass in front of you. So I guess usually they have glass like in the suite, right?
Yeah, or some sort of a club, like you were saying.
$50 a piece. I might be tempted to go there.
Yeah. By the way, you were talking about Pirates Dodgers, okay?
Yeah, I was getting there. I just
they play September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Pittsburgh. Right now, the cheapest seats for a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during school. The cheapest.
Jason, are you listening?
Are $48 or $40 a piece. Okay. Cheapest tickets are $40 a piece. Most expensive tickets, as they sit right this second, $97. Now, granted, that's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during school to see the Dodgers. Ohtani, Freeman, Betts. There's very few teams that have more than one guy that people would pay to go see. You know, I mean that's just the way baseball is right now. The Mets have got
when is this Pirates Dodgers game?
September 2, 3, and 4.
Sorry, guys, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my phone. Sorry,
but when you look at it, you know, you really sit there.
That might be in. Is that away?
No, it's in Pittsburgh. The away series is in June, I think. The series they play in LA is, I think, June.
So our final home game is against Sacramento.
Well,
Okay, September 2nd.
but I know we
Tuesday.
do. I know that you for some reason, I'm guessing, are thinking that these guys are going to finish in the basement of the NL Central.
Rich, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but it's hard to get excited for me.
If Skeens and Keller can stay healthy, these guys are going
It's
to be
only
fun.
okay, and if they win all 20, the 24, if they win all 30 games, that's 60 wins.
They're not winning. Okay, I'm going to do the math that I did a couple weeks ago. Okay, if you get, let's say, 18 from Skeens, okay, get 18 from Skeens, get 15 from Keller. That's 33. You get 10 from Haney, 10 from Falter, and 10 from whoever's in the 5-hole. That's 63 right there. Not counting any bullpen wins or anybody else coming up, Bubba Chandler or whoever coming up and getting wins. Okay? That's 63 right there. Your bullpen is going to win you at least 15. That puts you at 78. You're 4 games under 500 or 3 games under 500.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just of the opinion that if this team can stay healthy. Now, of course, if they have like 4 starting position players go down and Skeens or Keller goes down and Jones is definitely done for the year, then that's a whole nother talk. As they sit on March the 26th at 8:47 Central Time, this is a 75 to 85 win team.
And I say they're 65 to 70.
I honestly think you're undercutting them.
Hate being realistic. I just don't
I'm
see
being
it.
realistic about it too.
I just don't see it.
I don't know. I mean,
You and
you're
Jamie
gonna.
talked about you, Jamie and Dylan. I think Dylan said make the playoffs, and I'm like, what?
I have them as a wild card. Yeah. I mean,
It's great to live this optimistic, and I love it. I love it.
is it my long shot wild card? Yes.
Probably.
Because to be honest, I see this team winning between 78 and 82 games. They're going to be around 500. I don't think 500 gets you into the playoffs,
Look, if
but
we're
I
playing
think they're
like
going to be around 500.
if we're playing meaningful baseball coming down the stretch, the Brewers and the Cubs are here back to back, and I think the
I know.
Reds. I think we go to the Reds after that.
No, they have got a tough last month of the season. There's
And
no question about that.
and we also play the Dodgers in that last month.
September starts with the Dodgers. Then you have 3 with the Brewers, 3 at Baltimore, 3 at Washington. Then you
And
have
then
the
we come back
Cubs
and
at
play the
home,
Cubs.
A's at home, who are not a pushover,
And
at
that's
the
the final
Reds, and then
home
you
game.
finish and you
That is the final home game, the 21st. And then
right,
I
and
think we
then
finish in Atlanta this year.
you go at Cincinnati, at Atlanta.
There's a chance we could only win 10 games in a month in September.
Right. No, that's very possible, but that's why you have to take advantage of the possibilities that you have early in the year because you also have a month. And I'm trying to remember which one it is. Hold on, let me look. Where the teams you're playing are not exactly the most desirable teams in the league. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, in July, you have 2 against the Cardinals to start, 3 at Seattle, 3 at Kansas City. Those are tough.
Right.
3 at Minnesota.
I think Seattle's my wild card if they hit. If
They're not
Seattle
going
can
to
learn
hit.
how to
That's the
hit the
problem.
ball, If Seattle can hit the ball, they're gonna be the wild card, and they're gonna be in contention.
I will make you this bet right now. I will bet you $1 American dollar. Okay.
One Venmo dollar, please.
The the Pirates will have a better batting average than Seattle does.
I said if I didn't. I mean, I sure. Why not? It's a friendly bet. We're going coast to
I'm just
coast. Why
telling you.
not?
I'm just telling you.
I know you think Seattle's gonna suck, and I laugh, but
No, I think Seattle has a great pitching staff. They just can't hit. Kansas City is really good. So those are 3 tough games. Then you've got Minnesota, which is not going to be good. You got the White
is it
Sox, which are horrible. You got Detroit, who are not good. Then you've got the Diamondbacks, who are okay. And you've got the Giants, who are eh. That's your month to make hay. And I realize the All-Star game is in July as well. So you don't have as many games. But that is your month where you make hay and make up the difference for what you're going to lose in September. Because you're right, September is hell. I mean, realistically, September, every team they play, unless I'm missing
is
it,
a playoff team,
except Washington is a playoff team.
and maybe the A's, but we're everyone's pushing the A's to be at the top of the screen this year.
I think they can contend. They always have their nose in there till the end. They always have it in there. And the thing is, they've got some good sticks. They're young kids, but Rooker and Geloff
I
and
like
guys
their
like
catcher.
that,
I like their
Langoliers.
catcher.
That's Shea Langoliers. He played at Baylor. Um, they've got some good young players over there. They signed Severino. That if he's healthy, that's a big plus for them.
Right.
Mason Miller is as their closer. I mean,
We all
he might
talked
be
about
the
one.
best
We all talked about him going somewhere.
Yeah, but he might be the best closer in the American League. You know, would we love to see him in Pittsburgh and have him come home? Yes. He's a Pittsburgh kid. Would you love to see that 104 coming out of the bullpen in Pittsburgh?
Rich, off topic, but my son has asked a question for you.
May 25. Good grief, he's asking me for May. Holy God. I'm barely lucky I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I think I'm just going to start a group chat with you two so you two can stay in
Possibly.
contact off the screen.
I mean, that's a
But yeah,
possibility. I actually am working on a couple of interviews for that week. Then I've got my fingers crossed. I've got one already set and ready to go. It's an IndyCar guy. It's talking Indy 500, and then I'm working on getting a NASCAR Cup driver to do the Coke 600. So keep your fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, we
did you
would
get
have 2
Mikey?
interviews in the show.
Did you get Mikey?
What, Waltrip?
No, the other guy. Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you got Waltrip. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Michael Waltrip. Michael Waltrip's a possibility. I know a guy that could try to get him for me.
Rich, no one, you know way too many people in this business, and it's awesome. So I don't count any possibilities. Like I got excited that Michael McHenry came back and said, "Hey, sorry for ghosting you, but maybe
Dude, that's
we're
great.
gonna get a show out of him."
That would be great. I would love it. I've never met the guy. It would be great to talk to him.
He's done 2 shows
You
with me,
know,
so
it's just been one of those things. I've been very fortunate. You do 21 years in radio. You get the chance to meet a lot of people. You get a chance to be put in front of a lot of people that know a lot of people that can put you in front of more people. And that's how it happened with Texas Motor Speedway, and I got a chance to get to know a lot of these guys. My dad knew a lot of these guys. Craziest thing I ever saw, they did an IndyCar race at Texas, and I'm in the driver's meeting recording and, asking questions and that kind of deal. Did an
this is back
interview.
whenever you were on the job with the
Yeah.
radio station or whatever.
Yeah, with ESPN radio in Waco. And I get done, I come out, I can't find my dad. I'm like, great. And we always made this a Father's Day thing because my dad is one of those mechanical guys. He loves getting in the garage and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking around, I can't find it. Now my dad's 6'5". He's gonna stand out amongst people.
And you're 6'9" or whatever.
I'm 7 foot, so between the two of us, people are gonna notice. And I see him and because he's got his Earnhardt jacket on and he's bent over this car. I'm like, what in the world? And he's over there, and I can't remember who was driving for AJ Foyt at that time, but he's in there and he's got his head looking, and they're talking about the car and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of went, he stood up and he went, "Oh, hey," he said, "Have you ever met AJ Foyt?" No, never had. AJ, this is my son, Rich. Oh, okay. Does the same thing with Chip Ganassi, who's from Pittsburgh. He said, "Chip, come here. I want you to meet my son." So we started talking and all that. And I'm going, okay. People think I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who know a lot of people. That's what I tell people all the time. I know a lot of people who know a lot of people.
Now your daddy seems to know the people.
Dad knew a ton of people, man. He introduced me to so many. That's how I met Joe Green the first time.
Oh man, that had to be a
Um,
memory meeting him.
it was, and what was even cooler was introducing him to my wife because we were coming back. Steelers played the Saints. My wife is from Louisiana. Steelers played the Saints uh, in Pittsburgh. Went to the game, and we're getting ready to fly back. Thanksgiving weekend. It's 71 Thanksgiving weekend game day. We
Like
both
short
packed
weather.
all kind of stuff to be warm and all that kind of stuff. Oh, my wife was mad because we were wanting to see snow and all this other good stuff. Not a flake, right? So we go to the airport and we stop in one of those little convenience deals at the airport. And I go and I
Mind you,
grab the
folks,
one
this is the
corner.
old. This is the old airport.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing
So I
like
go
it
and I
is now.
open one of those coolers, to get something to drink out of there. I see this big hand reach for the one right next to me, and he's got two Super Bowl rings on. Super Bowl 9 and Super Bowl 13, right? So I look over to my right and Joe Green. So I grabbed mine, he grabbed his. I introduced myself to him. Uh, Told him, I appreciate everything that he did. I'd say, hey, I guess you're flying back to Dallas because he lives in Dallas. He's from Temple, Texas, which is about 30 miles south of where I'm at right now. And he said, yeah, flying back to Dallas, get to spend some time at home before we go and do some more things with the NFL. I said, well, I appreciate it. My wife come walking over and I said, Mary, I'd like to introduce you to Joe Green. And so I got the chance to introduce my wife to arguably the best defensive player of all time. Which I thought was kind of neat, full circle kind of deal because my dad introduced me to him when I was 8. And then I get to introduce my wife to him 40
Now,
years older.
were you on the same plane?
Huh?
Were you on the same plane?
Yes. Yeah, we were on the same plane.
Did you
Because he
sit in
was with
first
his
class,
wife.
or were you sitting with?
He
Were you up
was.
there with them? You weren't
No,
up
we
there with
weren't in
them.
first
You
class.
you didn't
No,
splurge.
no. But yeah, he was there with his wife. So, we played it cool. That's one thing you do. If they're by themselves, it's a little different deal. But when they're with their family, you just kind of leave them alone. But there was a couple people that were, and there was this one guy. I mean, the man's over 70, and I still bet you he could have wore this dude out. And guy was trying to take pictures and video of him and all that kind of stuff with his family. And Joe never raised his voice, but he pretty much told the guy where to go and how to get there very quickly.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, I mean, we were sitting across the way from him. It, you know, uh, that's just something that you do. When they're with their families and that kind of thing. you don't do that stuff. You don't bother them. You know, um,
Now
especially an adult.
they'll let you know if they want bothered or not.
Right. And like I say, especially an adult, because there was a little kid that went over and was very nice. You could tell he was being very nice, had a pen and a piece of paper in his hand and asked for an autograph. And he gave it to the kid. Never, gave him a smile, all that kind of stuff. Never was any different. But it was for a kid. He was very polite, that kind of stuff. Adults, we can all go pound sand when it comes to that stuff,
Right.
you know. So it's it's a touchy situation. The funny part is when you really know some of them well and you come up to them while they're with their family because you know their family as well, and people kind of freak out a little bit. You were talking to. I would do that with Scott Drew all the time, the head basketball coach at Baylor.
Hmm.
It didn't matter if he was sitting there
Well,
with
you
his
worked
family or
there.
not. They were.
You worked there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I worked with him all the time
Right.
because I
And
worked
I'm
for the
sure.
flagship station. Yeah, Kim Mulkey and I would we would run into each other at the grocery store, and she'd be like, "Okay, you're my fullback again." I said, "All right," because she would go to the grocery store and get absolutely bombarded, even though she was in sweats and all that kind of stuff and trying to be incognito. I'd stay right in front of her, and she could get wherever she needed to go in the store because I was in front of her. Okay. um, it's just a matter of how you handle stuff. But like I say, and most people in my position will tell you this. I know a lot of people that know a lot of people.
Are we going to get the 1925 throwback jerseys this year? I didn't see it when we played Boston.
I didn't either. Um,
I know we did it for the 1903 one against them. That was a cool day to be at PNC Park.
yeah, and that may be one of those. How sometimes I do in-season decisions on promotions. It may be one of those that they do that. I think it would be cool if they did. 100 years.
I think we had the gray PBC, no, the white BBC jerseys.
I
I don't think we were the
believe.
Pirates yet either. I don't think we were the Pirates in 25. I don't think we became the Pirates till 33, I think.
Um, right. Well, no. Let me look at this.
I could be wrong. Because there's like a mad mix between, we had the Pittsburgh Penguin hockey team that went to
That
Montreal.
were the Pirates.
Right. And then we had the Pirates football team.
Right.
We were
No,
originally the Pirates.
1925.
We're,
1925 baseball. I'm looking at it right now.
it
Pirates
was
jersey.
still, we were PBC.
We were Pirates, yeah.
We were Pirates or PBC,
We were Pirates.
but we weren't black and gold yet.
It's black, white with red trim.
Right. We weren't solid black and gold yet.
Right. A P on each sleeve, and then a round logo in the middle or on the breast that it said, it had National League, and then it has Golden Jubilee on it. National League Golden Jubilee patch. Yeah. So they were the Pirates in 1925.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool looking jersey. It's on the Mitchell and Hess website if you get a chance to check it out. But man, it is about that time.
I like the Penguin jersey too. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
I don't
not
know if you
bad.
can, I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
can
saw
see
that.
that.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's pretty cool. Mitchell and Ness is pretty neat with the throwback stuff.
And we didn't have numbers yet either.
Mm-mm.
But if you go back and look at some of the footage, I don't know if it was re-edited or not, but they do have Honest Wagner wearing number 14 in a
Well, I
couple of
think
the
it was a
videos.
case. I think it was a case where the more prominent players had numbers so that they stood out, but the other ones didn't. So, like a Rabbit Moranville or somebody like that, or Honus Wagner or Pie Trainer, those guys would stand out. The other guys didn't. That's why they did that. So, but anyways, man, I gotta shut this thing down.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh no, we're late." but Rich, we had a good show. Hopefully, I'm completely
yeah.
wrong, and hopefully,
I
you're
hope you're
completely right.
100% wrong. Yeah, I hope you're 100% wrong, man.
I
I really,
think we're gonna. I think we're gonna have a good pitching duel tomorrow. I think they're both gonna go 8.
well, I
I'm
don't.
feeling it, Rich. I'm feeling this tomorrow.
I think 7 max. I don't think either one of them goes over 100 pitches. I would be willing to bet neither one of them go over 90 um, tomorrow. But I
I
do
think
think
if
it's a
they're
pitcher's
pitching good
duel.
games, Rich, I think they let them go.
I don't think either manager will push it. Um, hopefully the Pirates get out to a big lead and they can just coast. But I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close ball game. Um, probably the closest one of the series, and Pirates win. Like a 3-1, something like 3-1, 4-2,
I think it depends when
something
they
like that.
pull Skeens. I think it depends when they pull Skeens.
You got to remember, man, their bullpen is not horrible.
No, it's not. It's not horrible, but man, just I mean, I want to see him get the win. I really do. But I also want to see
Yeah,
the first opening game as a great pitching matchup.
right. And
Well,
that's why I say, I mean,
I'll be listening to Greg Brown tomorrow on the radio or Joe Block, depending on who they give us. I didn't
yeah,
see any of
I'll
that.
probably.
I'm sure. Are you watching it, or are you going to listen to radio?
Well, no, I'll be listening because they play at the same time as the Rangers, so I'll be able to watch the Rangers here, and then I'll be able to
Well,
listen to the Pirates.
you got date night tomorrow.
Well, that's going to be Friday because our 10th anniversary is Friday.
Oh, that's this
So
week. Are you going to
yes,
get
let's
steak?
make it. No, damn it.
Oh,
The knee is not cooperating enough for me to get out to be able to do. I'm
hold up.
officially.
You're in Texas, and when I was there, Rich, they delivered me a steak on a sizzling platter.
I understand they can do that, but no. I mean, I'm
Why
not
don't you go get
completely
one and
giving
make
up on
one
it
at
yet.
home, Rich? Why don't you
I've
make one
got
at
2 more
home?
days. That is part of the thought process that I've got. But in the grand scheme of things, no. I mean, 10 years ago, Friday, the best thing that ever happened to me happened, and I'll make this worldwide, let it go viral, all that kind of good stuff. Um, that I married my wife. My dad did the ceremony. That was my only requirement for the whole wedding. Was that my dad did the ceremony? I didn't care whatever else. Tell me what to do, all that good stuff. Josh, my wife loves the ribs where we usually go. I'm a steak guy. But yeah, so 10 years of marriage. We've known each other 25, 27, something like that. But yeah, 10 years of marriage on Friday. So, uh, you know, happy anniversary, honey. I love you.
Right?
And
I
yeah,
thank you
10
for
years,
letting
man.
him do this.
And she puts up with me doing stuff like this and the radio stuff and all that.
I thank her
So
greatly for this.
yeah, and she definitely deserves tons and tons and tons and tons of kudos.
Rich, we got to get in contact with Marcus too. I'd like to
Yeah.
get in on the my thoughts for WrestleMania, by the way.
I'm open to it. Like I told him, I just got to figure out where to fit it in the schedule. It may have to be a thing that we do on the weekend, which we would just have to
Well, you
figure
guys
out
can
a
work it
weekend
out.
review
I
kind of
just want to
thing.
be I just want to be part of the predictions for WrestleMania.
Right. It may be one of those that we got to record like on a Saturday morning or something. Um, I don't know. I got to figure it out from my end. I haven't honestly talked to Marcus in a little while, but yeah, we'll get it figured out.
All right, cool. I'm gonna message my guy right now and see if I can get one of these 1925 Pirate jerseys.
There you go.
That's
There
my
you
goal
go.
right now. Anyway, Rich, you can get me at Sports Talking It on Twitter. Also at Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. You can ring the bell, hit the notifications, hit that subscribe button too. Helps us out. You can get me at Driving to the Top Productions on Twitter. Also, we have our new show, obviously the UFL. Big weekend coming up if they play. I'm assuming they're going to play. But we'll see. And yeah, Rich, go ahead, finish it out, buddy.
Yeah, you can get me on Twitter at BigRich8371, on Facebook with my name, Rich Richardson. Here every Wednesday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, as we do our Pittsburgh sports talk. Monday nights, Two Tire Change, our NASCAR show here on Driving to the Top Productions. I review last weekend's action in NASCAR, Truck Series, Xfinity, etc. We even get into a little F1 if we need to every now and then. And then we that's at 7 Eastern, 6 Central every Monday. Tuesday we do open mic. God only knows where that's going to go. We end up all over the place on that one, just like we end up all over the place here. So check us out, like, subscribe, follow us on all of our channels.
Yes, sir. You hitting it or want me to hit it?
I can hit it, man. Hey, we definitely appreciate everybody that's been a part of the broadcast this evening. Adam, as
Absolutely.
always,
Thanks for
man. It's
absolutely,
always
Rich.
fun. I am still campaigning for opening day to be a national holiday. So hit up Twitter with that, the hashtag national
Yeah, but
opening
you
day
know
is a
what they would
national
you
holiday.
know what they would you know what they would say, Rich, to that if they did? We already had it. It happened in Japan, 6 o'clock in the morning. That was officially opening day.
Dang. Anyways, everybody, we'll catch you next week. So long, everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good one.